regarding my statements made yesterday on the new property rules. This is the proposal by the state government, but we are still collecting inputs. And I think just now there was a private session by REHDA with me and Wabi Jagdeep, where they gave their inputs and their concerns. So of course, we are a government that listens to all sectors. So we listen to the people, and we also have to consider various views made. So I think this is, I think our position is stated in my statement. Maybe Jerry, on behalf of REHDA, wants to say a few words, please.
Thank you, YAB, CM. Yeah, we have had a closed-door meeting with YAB, and on the matter of public housing, low cost and low medium cost, this is the right move. The REHDA stand has all along been that something that is heavily subsidized for low cost and low medium cost will always be taken advantage of, and always there will be demand. Low cost, as you know, 42,000, low medium cost is 72,500. It's only a fraction of what it actually costs to build it today. And subsidy for this type of units will get heavier and heavier with GST, fuel, electricity all going up. So to maintain this pool of low and low medium costs to deserving buyers is the right way forward, and we commend the state for doing this. On the matter of affordable housing, number two, we have serious reservations that this 5-year rule will cover past purchases. Our stand is that even though developers are not affected by this, because we would have sold those units, it is not fair to the people who bought, whether from us or from the secondary market, without ever thinking that this kind of condition will come into being. We can foresee problems if they want to sell their properties. They have to get the names from the state housing department, and then to contact those people, because the department may just collect the names of people who are interested to buy up to $400,000, but 250,000 5 years ago could be $800,000 today with renovations, built-ins, and all that. $400,000 on the island. Same thing, if you have air cons, wardrobes, kitchen cabinets, flooring, all those kind of things done, the house could be worth $800,000 to $1 million, $800,000 to $1 million. So how is the seller going to communicate with the people on the State Department's register? That we see to be a problem, but YAB is thinking maybe going forwards this would be a prospective move rather than consider maybe. So for the number 3, purchases by non-citizens, I think this has been talked about. 3%, we think that it's a deterrent, but it's not a deal breaker. It means if somebody intends to stay in Penang, intends to invest for the long term, 3% is not going to change his mind if it's a serious buyer. Number 4, on 2% levy. This one is also in some ways punitive for speculators. So again, we also concur with YAB's concern of a property bubble, but we have also pointed out that with the new measures imposed on DIBS and RPGT, I think those have taken effect, and we need some time to see how severe those effects will be on the slowdown. I think all types of measures do have effect, but you need some time to see the extent of the effects. Thank you, YB.
Any questions? I think you're all clear about the state government's suggestions. I say we are still open to views from all stakeholders and all sectors. So of course, I think generally we have on both sides are those who want to buy houses and also from those involved in property development. I think we respect their views made, and of course we are willing also to accept criticisms made. As I said, this is an attempt by the government, state government, to try to make sure that there is no property bubble in Penang, and at the same time to try to make it possible for affordable housing to be sold to first-time buyers. We understand the opposition from the property sector. I know in Nanyang there was a very severe criticism and attack against the state government. We accept these criticisms because I think Nanyang, being a business paper, they always take the side of the business community. So they attack the state government for trying to look only at the aspect of the buyers, first-time buyers of affordable housing. But I think it's just not only first-time buyers of affordable housing, it's also to make sure there's no property bubble. And I think the question of property bubble, it varies across Malaysia. Some places don't have, some places a bit more riskier. And we are also concerned about that in Penang. And as a state government, we will try to do our part. So at least that this, the possibility of a property bubble is reduced. Okay, any other questions? Yes, David?
So this ruling of the 10 years one, does it cover the non-public sector housing?
Yes.
It covers private ones also, not just
Yes.
So it's still, at this stage, it's still a proposal, not implemented yet.
Our proposed implementation date is 1st February, but we are willing to, of course, still get in the views. We actually got in views before, but we are getting more views now. Every time we say something, when it's not announced, they always just talk. When it's announced, then people will look at it a bit more seriously, then there will be more views coming in.
So let's say if a house was bought, a private one was bought maybe 5 years ago, then you have to wait for another 5 years to implement it.
We talk about LC.
Can be affordable.
LCMC, no problem. No, because there's a difference that LCMC is 10 years. Affordable housing is 5 years. 5 years. So you say 5 years, then no problem. Then wait for 1 more week, then you can sell the open market area.
Okay. Alright, I see. So if it's 3 years, if it's not non-LMC but bought 3 years ago, they have to wait for 2 years.
Yes, you sell the open market, or if you want to sell within that time, they can, but to a listed buyer. Listed buyer are those buyers which are registered with the state government, and we certify it that they are first-time buyers and they are qualified within their salary range.
I think the concern would be that how long would be the time to process the approval to be given out?
Yes, we are aware of that also. So that's why we are looking at it.
CM, who decides on the listed buyers?
Listed buyers would be, yes, number one, must be a first-time buyer. Number two, your salary range.
Yeah, who decides on the way?
It's fixed what?
If the purchaser wants to sell after 10 years, so whom should he see?
No more, open market.
Open market.
After 5 years, it's open market.
10 years on LCMC.
Yeah, but same like that. Affordable housing, after 5 years, it's open market.
Oh, if they want to sell within the 10-year period or within the 5 period?
Yes, you got to go to listed buyers.
Oh, it's not that they cannot sell.
No,
they can sell, but only for the listed buyers.
Yes,
I
yes.
see.
So we cannot stop people from selling because that is against the transaction. It is that they can only sell from the listed buyer list. But after that 5 years is open market.
Is there a price capping?
No,
Like what Dr. Jerry says?
willing buyer, willing seller. So let's say within a listed buyer, for example, there's one house is 380, or in the mainland is 220. Suddenly, you want to sell for 300, and there's a person who is willing to buy for 300. No problem, we will not stop it. We will not have price capping. But at least we know that person is a first-time buyer and is qualified to buy houses at that range. We don't want a billionaire buying a 300,000 ringgit house, so to say. I'm just showing a very extreme example. We shouldn't be allowing people like Warren Buffett or Tan Sri Sai Mokhtar or Vincent Tan to buy a 300,000 house like that.
He can buy. He can buy. It's just that he has to be older than 5 years.
Now, after 5 years, you can buy. But let's say within 5 years. Now, within 5 years, you must be within that listed buyer list. So at least you ensure it's first-time buyer. Because, I mean, you want to give to more people the opportunity to have a chance at buying this affordable housing.
Dr. Jerry, can I conclude that of all the 4 points, REHDA have a bit of reservation regarding the administration on point 2. Am I right?
It's not only administration. I think the biggest issue is for those people who bought, because this one's the way that this was proposed is those people who bought within the last 5 years up to February, 2014, counting backwards. Those people who bought in the last 5 years, when they bought, whether from the developer or from the open market, they were not subject to any kind of condition. It means when you bought the house, whether second hand or from the developer, it was not LC or LMC. That means you know that there were no restrictions. Right now, when they want to sell, they suddenly find that there are restrictions. That means the restriction is you can only sell to the list of people determined by the state housing. And we foresee that that's a big problem because, again, the $250,000 house 5 years ago could be worth $800,000 with improvements and all that. So does the state housing have the list of people who want to buy at $800,000, that type of house? And also, if let's say the state housing does have that list, if that list is 100, 200 or 300 people, how is the seller going to go about to approach this, the people on the list? It's not easy. For a developer, if we have 100 units to sell, it's easy to say, okay, we have 100 units, they will give us 100 names, but for a seller of one property, we can foresee that
That's our concern. I mean, we understand the concerns from property from that side, from angle. From our angle, is the sale is concerned is 400 to 800 or 1 million. How, man? How can the first time buyer afford to buy? Isn't it? Even David, you also cannot afford. 400 going to 800, how? I mean, of course, developer is looking in terms of profit lah. We understand, we don't blame them. But for us, we are looking about affordability, whether you all can afford to buy or not.
So, I mean, if you sell within 5 years, you can there won't be a property price cap. You can sell it.
No, there's no price cap, but then it's only to make sure that it's to the listed buyer.
To listed buyer, so the listed buyer will have to input those with the means to buy.
No, because it's just like the salary range. Number one, you must be a first time buyer.
Okay.
Number two, what is your salary range? Then you qualify for that certain salary. Just the LC and LMC the same lah. Only thing we extend it further to 400,000 ringgit house. Before that, you have 42,000, 72,005. The salary must not exceed 3,005. Something like that. Your household income must not exceed 3,005. So let's say you buy for higher houses 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, then the household income will go up progressively higher.
Okay. So
Household, not one person. This husband and wife add together.
So that means a 400,000 house can be sold above 400,000 if sold within the 5-year period, provided that the lease.
It is sold to a listed buyer.
Listed buyer.
Yes.
So the lease will have to comprise a various range of.
No lah, you just give it to them. There are some who can afford.
So the state will have to buy 700,000 one, this is a household income. To buy the 600,000 one, this is a household income. And all must be first time. Then to buy 500,000.
No. For us, is our lease is only 400,000. 400,000. We won't go over 400,000. And this is the same lease that we are doing for SB Chelaya. SB Chelaya, we put in how much household income of certain level household income. 10,000 household income, husband and wife, 400,000 house. So that means only these people within that level you can offer to this group. Then of course, what is the price that you all set is willing buyer, willing seller basis. That's only within that 5 years.
See, and where does the appeal comes in this case? Willing buyer, willing seller. So where does the appeal comes in? What sort of appeal are you looking at? What do we appeal for?
It's only for first time buyers, sir. Only for first time buyers.
What are the criteria like appeal?
I don't understand.
Appeal what? You say must appeal the state government.
I use the word appeal.
To the state is.
I think you heard wrongly. You must apply in it.
Appeal.
Appeal where? You what?
Must appeal.
That time. Yeah, fourth line. Point number 2.
Even your number one said must appeal
Appeal to what?
to state government.
For what? Appeal to what?
Consent. Must get, I think the fourth line.
Which one?
First line. Point number 2.
Point number one as well.
Those who wish to sell during the
Yes, that means appeal lah. That means you must
State
subject to
government's
the,
consent.
that means we must also get the listed buyer lah, must be listed buyer lah. Because we want to make sure that if you want to sell, we want to make sure that when you buy a property, it's for you to stay, not to speculate. Okay, so if you want to sell, you appeal to us, and generally we will give lah, as long as the listed buyer. No problem. No problem. Only thing I think that they will ask how long will the mechanism take. That one I think is a valid question. We have to make sure that it's very efficiently processed. They are very important.
So okay, there's no price cap. You'll be getting the list will be comprising of first-time home buyers whose income, household income,
Subject to a rate set lah.
set.
Just like for LC 3,005 household income cap. That only they can buy
But
LC.
and then they are the first-time buyers, and when they negotiate with the developer,
It's a willing buy, willing seller basis.
willing buyer, willing seller lah. Okay, this covers new properties plus
Yes, secondary market.
secondary market.
Yes, every level.
See, if the seller wants to sell at a price where the people
It's above 400, no problem.
if the people in the list cannot afford, then the guy cannot sell.
Yes.
He has to hold
Yes,
until
yes. Because we want to make it sure that, because the problem is that if it goes too high, first time buyers cannot afford. Now you see where my problem is now. I want to make sure that at least first time buyers have a chance to buy. Of course, I become very unpopular with the property developers. Until I get attacked openly in the Nanyang, you know. I accept that. That one I accept that.
No, I think just from my point of view, I think the people who want to sell, who bought 5 years ago, are obviously not the property developers because they already sold our property. My concern is for the people who bought from us or bought from the secondary market in the last
But
5
property
years.
developers also own a lot of property, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
So don't say you don't have that
No, no,
interest,
the last
lah.
one
You
is-
also have that interest, isn't it? No, I think let's be very frank here, lah. We are all talking about competing interests. I understand, and I don't blame you for looking after your interests. But I hope you also look after the side of the government, where we want to look after the public interest, especially those who are first-time buyers. We are thinking of this method. We are willing to discuss further. And I admit the problems of efficient processing. I think David made a good point there. That one I think David also is very concerned because whether that can be done efficiently. I think that one is something that we have to look at. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, is there any concern that, some people might try to run away from this ruling, avoid it somehow, go under the table? Because how do you monitor? There will be a lot of units to look at.
Okay, very straightforward. Because you transfer of title. How do you transfer your title without going to a land office? Land office will look at your SPA first, what? You cannot run one. As I said, property you cannot run. Or else, if they can run, you think the property developer will come and look for me? They won't come and look for me, because they know this one I can avoid. But the immediate reaction, everywhere they come and say, government, how, man? Because they know that we will exercise control to a land office. My question is, that's what David mentioned, whether this can be done efficiently, and that one I think is a very, very concern. Because always from the federal government and then the state government in the past, efficiency is always a big issue. Even though efficiency has improved, but we have to admit that we have not gone to the level of the private sector yet. So unless we can at least reach that level, then we can be assured that we have achieved international standard.
CM, just want to confirm that if I buy the affordable house this year for 400,000, then I sell it 2 years later. So, but I sell it for 500,000, but the listed buyers, no one can afford the 500,000.
Wait,
so I need to hold the property until I find someone that.
Until 5 years.
Until five years later, then I will open
Yes.
sell on.
So this is where they are express unhappiness for this one. Because they say, number one, those who, like you bought, you didn't know that there was this ruling. So they say it's not fair to you, which I think it's a very point to take into account. Number two, how are you going to process? Do you have the listed buyer list? How are you going to process that? I think that also is another very point. And then number three, efficiency. Can you do it very fast now? Because like that, you take 1 year at a time, how to sell, man, isn't it? That one also we admit that could be another concern. Because private sector, government sector cannot operate as fast as private sector. That's why I said we are willing to take in these views. I think I summarized it very succinctly for you. I summarized for you, see, I take both sides. We play the devil's advocate. Again, I want to stress this, I understand the concerns of the developers. And I don't blame you for being profit oriented, because that's what you all are. But I hope that you can look my point of view, that I want to give opportunity for first time buyers to purchase affordable housing. That's all. Because otherwise, like what you all heard just now, Gary said, I've got a 300,000 house now, after improvements, already it's 800,000. Within less than 5 years, 800,000. I ask you, anyone first time buyer you can afford or not? Who can afford? Even David also cannot afford.
No, I cannot afford anything.
You cannot, you don't just say
Just don't bring so much.
You're okay, but he can afford, he just want to, what I'm saying is that that's why we want to make it within reach. So that it's within that listed buyer. So now, by doing that, I will be very unpopular. Okay, continue. Because I always notice every time when we do something for, to try to help certain groups, this group will keep quiet one. The one that will not happy will be the one that will be coming out. So okay, any questions?
Yeah, you can ask something aside from housing.
No lah, I think I talk about housing.
The boss wants to know about the Perak, why Mr. Guy is...
I already spoke to your Winnie already.
Okay, so...
I spoke to Winnie already. But this is in our party constitution. It has been there right from the beginning. And it's not only in Perak, many other states also like that. The same. I spoke to her already. Okay. So you check with Winnie lah.
Okay, no problem, I'll just...
Okay, any other questions?
Just one. Would the house price in mainland tomorrow, everything was sold 250,000 and above?
You can sell, no?
Everybody just up the price above that range, clear the issue.
But can you sell, no? Do you think you can sell?
All the houses in
I think there are some houses, for example, I think there are some houses in SPS, you cannot even sell at a certain low price also. You can't even sell at that low price. Because you go too high, you think the banks will agree that this is the price. Once you cannot get bank loans, you are also back to square one. You know what I mean? I think unlikely. Because the banks will not agree. The banks also will do their own evaluation. The main thing is this, property bubble vis-a-vis this affordable housing. We are trying to address all the concerns that we have collected so far. Number one, the concern from property bubble. Number two, affordable housing. Number three is that if that is the case, as if the only foreigners can buy. I think we have covered all the areas. I hope that we are trying to find a solution where it is win-win-win all around. So that's why we are not going to be popular with anybody. We are going to be unpopular with everyone. But in the long term, at least every sector gets something. Every segment gets something. Okay. Alright, thank you very much. I want to thank REHDA for coming in to give their views at such short notice. We'll continue to engage and have interaction. Alright, thank you.